Hey, welcome back to another episode of the No Comfort Zone. This is Dan Brzezowski. I'm going to be your host today, and today is segment number 3 in the seminar series Results, Purpose, and Massive Action, also known as RPM. I'll see you on the inside.
Welcome.
Attention, please.
Welcome aboard.
Welcome to the No Comfort Zone podcast. It's time to get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose. Broadcasting to the world from Rockford, Illinois. This is your wake-up call.
Warning.
You are the solutions to all your problems. Stop thinking average. Become the hero version of yourself. Every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. It all matters. You've entered the No Comfort Zone. It's time for a reality check.
You know, in this podcast series, when we're talking about actually where we're currently at and where we want to go, it's all about change. And I'm going to come up today in this podcast with a list of the top 10 things, bad behaviors of things that you're currently doing, things that you could possibly resonate with, things that I've identified with, things that are holding you back, but also more importantly, things that you can do. Another list of 10 things that you can do that maybe can get you out of your comfort zone and maybe you can start going after your goals in a definite purpose. So without any further ado, this is going to be the top 10 list that I've discovered in my journey into the no comfort zone on how to really get out of adversity, really kind of wake myself up, face that reality check, and really just start living a life that was more purposeful for me and really just start getting away from average, because there's nothing I hate more than being compared to average. And what's worse than that is actually looking at everyone else around me and identifying myself as like I'm comparing myself or trying to beat average. And the reality is this: you're supposed to be competing against yourself, trying to be the best version of yourself, not worrying about what the people down the street are doing, not worrying about what your peers are doing, but really trying to focus on what's the best version of yourself. And all those problems and situations that you have in your life, those were God-given to you. And I'm telling you right now, if you can find a way to identify why you received those problems, why you got yourself in those situations, and what you can learn from those, your life's going to become magical when you can take those problems and find the solutions from those problems, take that adversity and turn it into the solutions towards your new reality. It's going to become magical, and that's what I'm here to help you do. So before we get into it, do me a favor. If you see this on Apple iTunes, hit me with the 5-star if you can honestly do that. Give me a nice like, a review, whatever you can do would greatly appreciate it, because I'm trying to get other cool people to find this podcast just like you did. And I appreciate the text messages. I greatly appreciate the emails. And more importantly, I appreciate the connections that I've made with some of you. Let me know how this podcast has inspired you, how it motivated you, and more importantly, how it helped you get out of adversity, through adversity, or more importantly, what you've learned from the adversity. So I'm going to get into it. Number 1, the first and most important thing at this point is going to be avoiding feedback. Listen, this is a huge part of your dealing with adversity. You got to know how you got to where you got. If you're in a bad spot or if you're getting into adversity, you've got to know where you screwed up. And sometimes you have to have a core group of people around you that you can actually trust, not the idiots at the bar or the naysayers or the negative people. I'm talking about a core group of good-charactered, spiritually grounded people that can actually give you constructive criticism. Solid people that make good decisions in their life. They're not perfect, but they make good decisions. And basically, they have a lifestyle or something similar to what you want. I surround myself with much better people now than I did a long time ago, and it's by choice. And these people aren't the easiest people to necessarily become in alignment with, because they are protective. They choose who they want to be around and who they want to hang around. And I'm very grateful that I'm accepted by some of these people, and I've accepted them, and I also accept their feedback. Number 1, you have to actually get into that point where you start accepting feedback. So number 1 is actually people that actually fail. They avoid getting feedback. So stop avoiding feedback. Number 2, procrastination. You and I both know it. Everyone deals with procrastination. You're going to do it later. You're going to do it when the time's right. You're going to do it when the situation's ideal. Delaying important actions reduces productivity and undermines growth opportunities. We know that. Listen, the number 1 thing that you need to do is you're going to have to start. But procrastination is a killer, and it's going to keep you average. Procrastination is a growth killer. It's a bad behavior. Number 3, seeking instant gratification. If you've listened to any one of the 500 plus podcasts that I put out there, you're going to know for the majority of my life, I have constantly been justifying seeking instant gratification. Seeking instant gratification is choosing short-term pleasures over long-term benefits that can lead to lack of progress in meaningful areas in your life. There is no character in seeking instant gratification. It is going to keep you average or below average. It is going to lead to failure every day, every time, without fail, no exceptions. That's number 3, seeking instant gratification. In case you haven't figured this out, this is part of a seminar, so you definitely want to write this stuff down. I suggest you look at it, you post it, do yourself a favor, and look at it. If you're doing any one of these things, you're on the road to failure. I found myself doing all of these things, and that's what led me to where I was at till I got to a point in my life where I said, man, enough is enough. I just can't deal anymore. I've got to get out of this, and this was my comfort zone, all of these. Fear of rejection. Man, you just have to go for broke. And when I say you have to go for broke, you have to fear of rejection. You have to stop worrying about being judged or rejected. It prevents you from taking risk and pursuing opportunities. You're going to have to risk more, be more, do more, laugh more. You have to really put yourself out there. So people that are going to be average or less than average, they live by this fear of rejection. They just don't put themselves out there. So number 4 is fear of rejection. Another poor, really bad behavior that gets you to be less than average and really truly gets you so far away from success and keeps you stuck where you're at is poor time management. Look, I'm going to share this with you that if you put your life in 15-minute increments, you've got 15 minutes. If you've wasted 15 minutes, no problem. Deal with it. You've wasted the 15 minutes. Move on. You've wasted the 15 minutes. You've scrolled for 15 minutes. Don't kill yourself. You've wasted 15 minutes. Move on. Just don't waste the next 15 minutes. I've said it before, time and time again. When you do the right thing, the next right thing happens. When you do something bad, though, you know how you get out of it? Just do the next right thing. Listen, you ate 4 Twinkies. Do the next right thing. Go walk. Go run. Go exercise. Go eat a healthy meal. Go drink 4 glasses of water. Just do the next right thing. Don't compound the problem. What you need to realize is that with poor time management, if you've wasted 15 minutes, don't worry about it. Just do something productive for the next 15 minutes. Make up for the 15 minutes that you wasted. Not effectively prioritizing tasks or managing time leads to unproductive habits and missed goals. This podcast is all about you achieving your purpose in your life and achieving goals. It's all about living an accomplishment. And if you can't manage at the same time that everybody else has out on the planet, you're never going to achieve anything and you're going to be less than average. And that's what sucks. When you have low self-esteem, when you're less than average and you're not living to your potential, you just have to look, how are you managing your time? We'll move on to number 6, negative self-talk. Be careful what you say about yourself. You need to say, hey, negative self-talk. Constant self-criticism or doubt creates a negative mindset that limits one's potential for growth. I'm tired. Hey, stop saying it. You're tired. You've got to change. You've got to start. This is hard for me to do. I still do it to this day. I'm so frustrated. That's something I say a lot. I want so much more. Hey, be in the moment. Be present. Stop with the negative self-talk. Literally on my app every single day, I might have mentioned this in the podcast. Literally every day, my first reminder of the day is stop complaining for 7 days. I complain. My life's not perfect. I'm trying to get to a point where I have an understanding of where I'm at currently in my life, and I actually enjoy where I'm at. However, life happens, and I complain a little bit, and then I start to blame myself. I have to realize, I'm working on it, that yes, I'm responsible for everything that happens around me, but it's not all my fault. There's some good things and bad things, but negative self-talk, I'm too this, I'm not enough that, you just got to stop it. You realize that you're doing the best you can. And if you're getting up every day and you're doing the right things and at least you're in the fight, you're trying to be better every single day, you're better than almost everybody else. Just keep at it. Stop with number 6, negative self-talk. All right, moving on to number 7. This is the one I love. Avoiding discomfort. and this is right off the list. Staying in the comfort zone and avoiding challenges prevents individuals from experiencing personal growth and learning. This whole podcast is developed on that. I got so comfortable that my life was passing me by. I got fat, I got unhealthy, I got miserable, I got average. Even when I was actually finding success and finding financial success, investments were starting to grow, relationships were starting to grow. I was starting to get my life back. My career was going in the right way. Things were happening. I was getting opportunities. I wasn't happy. The reason why I was so comfortable that I wasn't even realizing, I wasn't even experiencing things because I got so comfortable. Things were on autopilot. You have to realize that avoiding discomfort is killing you. It's going to keep you average. So make yourself uncomfortable. One of the best things that I did is getting up at 5 a.m. Getting up at 5 a.m. on a consistent and regular basis is uncomfortable for me. Putting your feet on the ground first is something you should start doing. Taking a cold shower, going for a brisk walk, doing things differently than the way that you normally do it. Just a little discomfort here and there throughout the day keeps it real. Just find ways to challenge yourself. As I call it, find ways to create reality checks. If you want success and you're not where you want to be at, create discomfort to get you there. I'm just telling you, it makes the journey so much more enjoyable. Number 8, lack of accountability. Not taking responsibility for one's actions and choices can lead to blame shifting and lack of progress. Being an addict, being a drug addict, being an alcoholic, being broke, being homeless, being alone, all that stuff, I blamed everybody and everything. And when you start doing that, you're going to be alone. Then you got to take full accountability. The reason why I am where I'm at in my life is simply this. I blamed everybody else. And when you start to take 100% accountability for everything that happens in your life, no matter what, it changes things. It's also very empowering. So number 8, the reason why people have some bad behaviors and they're less than average or not successful or they're in adversity is because they lack accountability. You want to get out of adversity? Start taking 100% accountability. Watch what happens to that adversity. And I'm talking about self-inflicted adversity. Just take responsibility for all of it. The good, the bad, the indifferent, the terrible. Take responsibility 100%. Watch how your life changes. Wherever you're at in the world, just take 100% accountability for it and take one step forward in the right direction and see what happens. And number 9, comparing yourself to others. We briefly touched on this. Constantly comparing oneself to others can lead to envy, frustration, loss of focus, and one's unique path to success. Hey man, we are all on a unique journey. Every single one of us is on a unique journey, and that journey is based on our own path. It's up to you to figure it out. Not for what your neighbors are doing, not for what the guy down the street, your coworker, or wherever they're. And I struggled with this for the longest time. It doesn't matter my career path and how much time I have invested, how many times I got pushed over, how many failures and successes I have. It's my journey. 100% of the time I have to realize if I'm going to do this journey, I have to compete against myself instead of comparing myself to others. And I want you to start doing the same. If you want it all and you want it right now, you're going to have to stop comparing yourself to others. And number 10, fear of failure. Hey, if you're going to face fear, I'm telling you the death of fear is certain. So if you're afraid of failure, just go for broke. Just go for it. Being homeless was terrible, but it wasn't that bad. Read into that. Being alone was lonely, but it wasn't that bad. Being around a bunch of people that didn't love me and care for me, being surrounded by them, was the most lonely place in the world. Being in a relationship and not being loved, but giving love to somebody else and not getting in return is the saddest place you'll ever be. Having the ability to realize that and waking up and realizing that, hey, I need to move on is pretty empowering. And you're going to have to step outside of your comfort zone. And you're going to have to realize that the relationship that you're in, it might not be like the relationship down the street. And I have to realize that if I do seriously want to find happiness, I might have to fail. I might actually have to go out there, be alone for a minute, and get rid of my dignity for a second and realize that, hey, I did make a mistake in this area. I am going to fail. And you know what? The best thing I can do is take a step in the right direction, admit that I failed, take action now, and take a step in the right direction. And I can't tell you, taking a step in the right direction is all about taking action. So let me say this. Letting the feel of failure dominate decisions keeps people from trying new things, learning, and ultimately succeeding. These behaviors can serve as barriers to success, but recognizing and addressing them can lead to significant growth and progress. I just want to tell you this, that in this part of the segment, I'm going to do a part 2, and it's going to be the flip side of this. Here are the 10 things that the most successful people do, and I'll talk about those in the next podcast. But I've got to tell you this. If you can resonate with any of these 10 things, and you can say to yourself, hey, these are the reasons that, listen, you could be in an adverse situation. You could be failing. You could be bankrupt. You could be in a bad relationship. You could be failing, or you have before in the past. It's really simple. Do you avoid feedback? Do you procrastinate? Do you seek instant gratification? Are you afraid of rejection? Do you have poor time management, negative self-talk, avoiding discomfort, lack of accountability, comparing yourself to others, or do you fear failure? If you do any one of these things, you're human. But you have to ask yourself, what are you willing to do about it? Do you even know how to do about it? Are you so put into a pattern of predictability that you can't even get out of this area? If so, you're in a comfort zone. The whole life, your whole human being, you're caught up into this area where you just have to completely put yourself into a no comfort zone. And I can help you with that. I can put you through, like in the Marines, a boot camp. In rehab, you go through, and through alcohol addiction, you go through rehab or a detox. That's what the No Comfort Zone Blueprint is. And if you're interested in doing that, go hit me up at dan@thenocomfortzone.com, and I can help you deal with these things, show you how to get through this. And at the end of this seminar series, through results, purpose, and massive action and doing what's important now, I'm going to show you how to start your day, how to start living each day with intention, with purpose, with passion, so you can have some intensity throughout your day. So that at the end of a 30, 60, 90-day period, you're going to be unrecognizable to the people that are around you because, quite frankly, you're going to reinvent yourself because that's the person that you reinvent yourself to, that's the person that's going to attract the success that you're looking for because you've learned from the adversity. So I appreciate you taking a minute to listen to this podcast, and I hope you got something out of these top 10 things that literally these top 10 behaviors that keep you from achieving success. And I look forward to seeing you on the next podcast where we're going to talk to you about the top 10 things that help you gain success. And they're not one and the same. So I appreciate that. But until we meet on the next podcast, remember this: you are worthy, you are worthwhile. And I do hope you listen to this podcast and utilize the information that I'm giving you here so that you can truly get out of your comfort zone and live on purpose.
Say goodbye.
Want more of the No Comfort Zone? You can follow Dan on Instagram and Twitter at NoComfortZone1.
Bye.
Or on the web at thenocomfortzone.com.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to the No Comfort Zone podcast.
Bye-bye.